Make you jump, jump.
Oh,
Crisscross,
yeah.
I'll make you jump, jump. Uh-huh, uh-huh.
What up, internet? It is I, JG Tate. It is he, Neil McCready, and it is he, Gabriel DeArmond, live from their respective places of employment. Gabriel from the bedroom. Neil from, I don't know what you call that. Is it the Oxford Exxon?
It's the Clark Ford Studios.
Clark Ford Studios, that's right.
Yes,
They're
sir.
located in Amory, but you're located in Oxford.
That is correct.
No
That's where
doubt.
the magic happens. No doubt.
There's no doubt.
No doubt about that, I'll tell you.
Hey, all right. So we'll get some pre-show chatter. We've already got some folks chatting in the on the YouTubes. Jared H. Ryan, keeping him eligible in the house, one of my guys. Jared says, I love this podcast. FIFA sucks, though. FIFA's been an absolute disaster these last week. The servers have been a mess. You can't hardly play.
Because everybody's trying to play.
There's like 8 million people on it?
Yeah, well, they need to sack up and get that fixed, bro. See what I'm saying?
It's kind of like a Yogi Berra thing where he says nobody goes to that restaurant anymore. It's too crowded.
That's pretty good.
I'll tell you, well. Thanks, Gus.
There's no doubt. I got to text with him the other day, and every time he answers me, I always like answer it in the Gus voice in my head. Like, there's no doubt. It's going to be big. Let me go ahead and put some of these on the various websites. I would love for you guys to, if you have any story ideas, now's the time, Gabriel and or Neil. I have a few myself, but.
Well, there's this virus that's going around.
Wait, which one?
What?
I know.
Not here. Everything's normal here.
You remember Tony Kukoc?
I remember him, yeah.
I got a Bulls-Knicks game on from, I guess, the year that Jordan wasn't playing. And
that would have been, what, 95?
Mm-hmm.
Like John Starks, Patrick Ewing, Scottie Pippen, Steve Kerr, Luke Longley. Those were the days, man. It would
have been 94 and 95 because that's when the Rockets won it.
Yeah, it's one of those. Maybe this was the OJ year.
Yeah.
When OJ crashed the NBA Finals.
Oh, that's good stuff, man.
Did you guys see Joe Diffie died?
Yeah,
saw that.
Sucks.
Yeah, that's a shame.
I can't name one song, but I love them.
Really? I listened to some Joe Diffie driving around in my bitchin' red Camaro when I was in high school.
Oh, did you really have a Camaro, like for real?
I got a Camaro I got a 1994 Camaro for when I graduated from high school.
That's pretty cool. Did it help you slay?
Yeah. What's that?
Did it help you slay?
You would think so, but
no, or yeah?
Not really.
Not really.
Yeah.
Do you want me to put this on Power Mizzou, Gabriel? Because last time I think everybody just gave me the finger and told me to get the hell out of town.
No, I think you're making that up. There are a few people that like it, so yeah, go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna do it right now.
All right.
Get this thing over on Power Mizzou. We've also got some other folks coming into the chat. WebM, Plains Old Joe, one of our superstars. Corny, live from the Nevada desert in the house. He says, Neil reminds me of the main husband of Joe Exotic. That's not very nice.
That's horrible.
That is horrible.
Damn. I like when you have to designate the main husband as opposed to the secondary husband.
It happens, man. There can't be
Neil has a few too many teeth for that, though.
Yeah, come on.
Like as far as I can tell, Neil, you have all of them.
To my knowledge, I have all of my original teeth.
Yeah.
That just feels like a hurtful thing to say in a time of national tumult.
Yeah.
Is it? I thought it was tumult.
I thought it was tumult. It was tumult. It's tumultuous, right? It's not tumultuous.
I would go
it's tumultuous. I'm going to say tumult. Get over it.
Okay.
Gabriel, you'd say tumult, right?
I would.
Yeah.
You can be the non-main husband of Joe Exotic. How about that?
I am the one with the colored hair.
I'm the side piece.
Yeah.
Jared H from the chat says, "Tell Neil I'm ordering a Peloton. How do I use his referral form?" So he
I can get you. I can get you a code. Tell him to Jay. Throw him my email and I'll throw him a code. Thank you, Jared. You're the best.
All he's actually got to do is when he sends the email, just like send a video of him high fiving. They give him like a 20% discount.
You know what? You know what's been weird, man, is like before this thing happened with coronavirus and stuff. No one ever did the high fives anymore, and now the rods are like just 2-3 times the amount of people that used to be, and the high five thing is almost out of control. Like everybody is like, "Hey, we're all in this together. We're all in this together."
Back in vogue.
Well, just you can tell people are just like dying for community. You know what I mean? I mean,
I feel like people are working out more than probably we used to. Is that right?
That didn't happen
You
to
think?
me.
Really?
No, I've been. I almost said a bad word. I got kicked off my soccer complex, both of them, and I can't go to the gym. I have nowhere to go to do anything. Pisses me off. What am I supposed to do?
I've been working out in
my driveway.
What do you do in your driveway, Neil?
I got a sit-up, one of those ab rollers. I got push-up stuff.
God.
I got resistance bands, and I got some weights.
You really do that shit on your driveway?
Yeah, because it's nice and warm.
He takes his shirt off and goes out in the driveway.
Dude, that you really might be one of the husbands. That is kind of weird, man.
Man, y'all suck.
Yeah.
But he's the primary one, Jay. He's the main one.
Yeah, he's not the secondary.
It was actually a compliment.
This is going to be GPITS 92. We're going to have to talk a little bit about the great music from 1992, which includes the classic Achy-Breaky Heart by Ray Cyrus.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, look at that, Gabe. Gabe's excited.
Talking about main husbands, there's one.
What do you mean? Yeah, his wife's probably hot, right?
Yeah, she probably is. I'm not a Billy Ray or Miley Cyrus kind of guy.
I'm definitely a Miley Cyrus kind of guy.
What's she doing now?
I hope she's
nothing good.
No.
I can't
nothing good.
James Dolan has coronavirus, the owner of the Knicks.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting to a point where who doesn't have it?
I don't.
Me, to my knowledge.
I'd be shocked if I had it.
I haven't. When's the last time you guys saw anyone in person outside of your immediate family?
Oh, well, that was yesterday.
I mean, other than if you went to the grocery store.
Oh.
That's it. I went to Home Depot today and I saw Pete Boone. He was there, the former Ole Miss AD.
Former Auburn consultant. Yep.
Yeah, he was at Auburn for a while. I saw him.
Top movies from 1992. It's not a very good year for movies. Aladdin.
Was that a dry cough, Jay?
Shut up. You know I've been coughing for 2 months now. Aladdin, The Bodyguard, Home Alone 2, God bless. Basic Instinct, which had a nice little B shot there.
The Bodyguard was a terrible movie.
It's terrible.
That was awful. Awful.
The best movie on here, I get Wayne's World's pretty good, and Batman Returns.
Wayne's World's so stupid that once you watch it once, you'll never watch it again.
I'm glad that you feel that way. And A Few Good Men's pretty good, right?
Yeah, that's a really good movie, actually.
I will watch that almost any time it's on.
Grind Hard.
You want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
Grind Hard from the chat says, Gabe looks very different than I thought he would. Does that mean he looks taller or shorter? I don't know.
I think he meant much more attractive, much less like one of Joe Exotic's husbands.
I think Neil's only seen 2 episodes. Is that right, Neil?
Yeah, we're gonna watch episode 3 tonight.
Okay, so you're a little behind. I watched it all in like 6 hours.
Oh yeah, I mean,
which of the husbands do you think is a little behind?
But yes.
Yes.
Yeah. The answer is yes.
Neil's the first person I know that has taken more than 2 days to watch this thing.
Well,
we watched 5 episodes in one day. We couldn't turn it off.
We've been watching Schitt's Creek as well, and then Laura likes that Little Fires Everywhere show.
Oh yeah, we watched episode 4 of that this week.
Yeah, I tell you what, now that show's pretty good.
It is.
That's some weird stuff.
Every person on that show sucks though. I don't like any of them.
Right. There's no good character yet.
Right.
They're all bad, which might be the point.
Yeah. Also, Tiger King, same way. They're also all bad.
Pretty much, yeah. Honestly, dude, well, I don't want to get too deep into it, but the girl didn't bother me as much as the others, although she is a hypocrite. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see. I asked Grindhard for a little bit more background on what he meant by that, Gabe, when he said you don't look like he expected. He says he sounds cool, but he looks like a cop. So there you go, Gabe.
All right.
Uh-huh. Brad says,
I always like it when people say you don't look how you sound. I don't really know what that means.
Brad E., one of our guys from auburnsports.com, says, don't y'all effing spoil Tiger King. So we will not. Of course, we wouldn't do that normally, but we'll make sure that Neil doesn't get anything spoiled either. So.
Yeah, because I'm only 2 episodes in, so I don't want you guys ruining it. Have you put out the link for this, Jay?
I haven't put it on Twitter yet. No, probably should.
Yeah, throw it on Twitter. I've got people asking for it.
I've put it on your board. But you guys are so needy.
I know it.
I'm just kidding. I got excited talking about Gay being a cop. It's funny as hell.
I don't think I would be very intimidating. I'd be a shitty cop, probably.
Why? You'd be too nice?
No, I just, I'm not going to scare anybody, man. I'm not very big. I'm not that tough. What am I going to do?
You're not very big. You're a tough guy on the Twitter, though, man. You're like Tony Soprano behind the keyboard. You really are. I mean,
no, don't confuse tough guy with asshole. I mean, let's get straight.
All right, let me get this. I almost got it there. Neelage. There it comes. Tagged you both in it. All right. Grindhard, I guess, who has seen the new season of Ozark, says it was super good. I'm really looking forward to that too. Love Ozark.
See, I don't like that show.
It's a little
I
dry,
started it and I quit. I didn't like it.
Don't hold that against him, guys. That he didn't like Ozark, because I think everybody likes Ozark except Gabe.
You can it won't bother me if I'll be the bad guy here. I mean, you can be the guy everybody likes. I can be the guy that everybody hates, and Neil can be the exotic animal husband. It's cool. We all have our roles to play.
Things I need to talk about today. You guys can also jump in if you have other things you'd like to talk about today. I did a fantasy draft yesterday that I could not have cared less about, and I just don't care about anything except I don't really care much about anything anymore right now, honestly. My life's a fucking mess.
I didn't mean to laugh, but
it's hard to care about a fantasy draft when you're drafting players for a season that you're not sure is going to even happen.
I don't even, yeah, and what am I going to be doing 6 months from now? I don't even know. Yeah. One of my best friends since childhood, we'll call him Will. Will thinks he's got COVID. He's sick as a dog out in Denver, and he got tested, but there's a latency. You get tested, and they don't these 25-minute tests. I don't think they're out everywhere, and so
it takes a few days.
He's having to wait right now, and his brother-in-law's got it, and he's in the hospital with pneumonia, and it's just it's a mess, man. I mean, Will's like a mid-40s dude, thin, athletic, plays golf a lot. He's not some sick-ass 500-pound person at all. So I'm telling you, man, we're all gonna know good friends that have gotten this before long if you're not already there.
Yeah, and we're going to look back, and the early reporting on this that said this is only kills old people is going to be really flawed.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it did in the beginning or something.
It's amazing. Every day feels like Groundhog Day because everyone engages in the same fight over and over and over and over and over, and I'm exhausted from it. I woke up today. I was like, I'm just not going to even look at the news.
Yeah.
The president sends crazy ass tweets and the media goes crazy, and I keep waiting for anybody just to sort of be a grown up in the room across the board. And you almost have one section that feels to me like they're almost cheerleading for it to be really bad. Mm-hmm. And then you have this other section that they're like insisting that this is not even as bad as the flu, y'all. What are we doing? Let's go back to work tomorrow. And I want to strangle both sides. Jay's known me longer than you have, Gabe. I've become a centrist.
He has.
Whatever the hell that is. I don't have a political party. I can't stand either. I can't stand either one of them. And that's why, because they're both of those views are completely irresponsible. The view of you can almost feel like some of the media going, I want this thing to turn into the Armageddon. Why?
Yeah, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Some people just want to watch the world burn, Neil.
But it's all politically motivated, and then you have the other side, and then you have Trump tweeting about his ratings, for God's sake.
Well, the important thing is how many people watched his press conference, Neil.
But I mean, it's just you understand my point, though, right? I mean, at some point, be responsible. It's everybody let's everybody stop, be responsible. Let's do what we got to do. Let's if there is something we can do to get rid of the thing so that we can get back to some semblance of normalcy. And then I was on a teleconference. I listened to it because I didn't get the Ole Miss didn't send me the link. Lane Kiffin had one, and he's getting
Sounds like there's a story there, maybe.
Yeah, it might be.
Talk about that.
So, I mean, people are asking about the quarterback competition, and I'm like, really, guys? I mean, we're if there's a yeah, I don't know, yeah, if there's a season, there's not going to be any sort of a camp or practice until July at the absolute earliest.
Yeah, I hope we have football, bro. That's what we were saying last week.
All
right, so my man Will's sick. Tiger King, we've discussed that a little bit. I've had some pretty serious feelings of despair this week I'm willing to talk about on the show. Helping my wife with her child care center channel. She's got one up and running now. It's a much different purpose than I usually serve on YouTube. But that's something nice going on. My wife did get laid off, and my mom can't decide if she wants to
talk about good things we should talk about good things that people are doing and stuff.
Okay.
Because like there's some cool stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean you've been really nice, and Neil's been really nice, and the sun's beautiful this time of year.
Well, like our friends at Cathead are doing the hand sanitizer. They've turned their operation into making hand sanitizer. My friends at Blue Delta Jeans they shut down their jeans making operation, and they're making masks, commercial grade masks for healthcare workers. I mean, there's a lot of people that are doing a lot of cool things. I mean, there's a lot of heroes in this stuff too.
Yeah. We got a big super chat from Webb Moore, who is a Rebel Grove person. So
thank you, Webb.
Big
You're the
ups
best.
for that, Webb. Incredible. I mean, a big one too. All right, so you guys want to go ahead and dry cough?
We should do a podcast.
Yeah, we probably should. We don't have to go the full hour because, I mean, if we run out of stuff,
Yeah, no, we're all good.
We can also talk about the music in 92. And if you have anything you screwed up on in 92, Neil, we can certainly know about that.
92, I graduated college and started grad school and began probably the two most sinful years of my life. I'm not particularly proud of them looking back, but at the time it was really fun.
Yeah, it's when you were a bartender?
Yeah, I had absolutely no standards at all.
I know, but I can't see you closing. Like, I just don't think you have it in you.
I did that. I did then. I did a lot of closing.
I mean, you serve people enough alcohol, weird things can happen.
Well, there's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that.
I was singing you a song earlier. That would have been good at that time.
You what?
That song I was singing to you earlier about the stroking thing, and then the other thing. Remember that? And you said, "Man, Jay, I don't know if I know that song."
Yeah.
I could probably sing that at the bar back then. It would have been a big hit.
Probably could have.
I like to call it stroking, but I mean, it may have a different name. I don't know.
Yeah, I think there might be. All right, you ready to do this?
Which part?
The podcast part.
Oh yeah, hell yeah! That's what we're here for.
Yeah, we're
Gabe,
here.
you ready?
Yeah,
Hands
I'm
up!
good.
Don't shoot, Gabe. I know you're a cop and everything. Officer DeArmond.
Gabe has a Mizzou baseball game to cover tonight, so we got to hustle.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Come on.
Yeah, Jay, I'm serious.
Yeah, man.
I mean, Mizzou could be playing the St. Louis Cardinals. I wouldn't cover that.
All right, Neil, it's rolling. So whenever you're ready, we're ready, and Gabe's ready as long as he's ready.
All right, cool. Here we go. 3, 2. Welcome into another edition of Greatest Pod in the South, sponsored and presented by Automation and Control Systems, LLC. I'm Neil McCready. I'm joined by J.G. Tate and Gabriel DeArmond. You might know him as Gabe DeArmond. He is with us as well. I want to tell you before we get started a little bit about ACS. They're owned and operated by Clay McNutt in Baldwyn, Mississippi. They were established in 2013, and they are a complete electrical control systems solution provider and a Rockwell Automation recognized system integrator. ACS has a full-time dedicated emergency service and troubleshooting staff and a UL 508A panel shop. They can custom tailor software packages, custom design electrical control panel solutions, and much more. ACS is a full-service AutoCAD services provider and a full-service fiber optic cabling solution provider. If you're in need of custom HMI and SCADA solutions or large horsepower BFD specialist, ACS has you covered. They can service and install Rockwell Automation, Allen Bradley, Simons, ABB, Square D, and many other manufacturers. For more information or to get in touch with ACS, go to acsllcms.com. That's acsllcms.com or call 662-601-4381. I'm coming to you from the Clark Ford Studios. Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900. Listen, these days you want to do as little human interaction as possible. You can do all of your car buying with Corey Clark and the people at Clark Ford without talking to anybody. You're going to call them, you're going to tell them what you're looking for. They're going to send you a quote right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You can get the whole thing done online, text, all that stuff. 662-257-1900. Next time that you are in the market for a car, the next time you think you just are going to explore the idea of purchasing a car, make that one of your calls. You might end up in a Clark Ford, you might not, but that call is going to help you make sure that you get a good deal going forward. 662-257-1900. Jay is laughing. What's up, Jay?
No, it wasn't about that. It was we have some hilarious people in the chat just making me laugh. Grindhard says Officer League's softball game to cover, ragging on Gabe. Someone earlier said that they thought Gabe looked like a police officer. Georgia Rebel says, did Jay miss the orange shirt memo? I didn't realize. I think you guys are just wearing red, right?
I'm wearing a Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl champions red shirt. So yeah.
I'm wearing a red Chicago Cubs World Series champion shirt. So there we go.
All right. So I didn't get the memo.
We are champions.
Not me. I don't believe so. I am drinking a little something special here. First time I've had it. It's the Old Soul Bourbon, distributed by our friends at Cathead Distillery out of Jackson, Mississippi. We have been talking with them. You know, they were with us for a long time on Greatest Pod of the South, and Neil and I have stayed tight with Major and our friends over there at Cathead. Good folks, and I hope to be sharing some more information about Cathead in the coming days, week-ish, yes?
Yeah, I would think so. And a little shout out to them. They're doing some cool things that you'll hear about here probably in the next 48 hours or so. They've converted a lot of their operations there in Jackson to making hand sanitizer, which is very much in demand in healthcare facilities, in nursing homes, places where they need hand sanitizer, and it is very difficult to come by. I didn't know this before the last week or so because, who the hell sat around and talked about hand sanitizer? One of the key ingredients for hand sanitizer is glycerin, and India makes the overwhelming majority of the world's glycerin. Who would have cared before? And India is on shutdown. So coming up with glycerin is a project right now that the people at Cathead are endeavoring to solve.
That's good stuff. I mean, I could use some. Just saying, I mean, if they want to hook me up.
Yeah, the guys down at the precinct I know are running short.
I bet they are.
Hey, and you also mentioned that Delta Jeans Blue. I forget.
Yeah, the Blue Delta Jeans.
Blue Delta Jeans.
Yeah, really, really great guys. They've turned their operation in. Basically, it's in Tupelo. It's just right outside of Tupelo.
Yeah.
They have a factory that they make custom made blue jeans, and they've stopped making the jeans, and they're now making commercial grade masks for healthcare providers. Which is huge. I mean, they're making 50,000 a day, and they're ramping up to make more. It's so you know you hear nothing but bad news and people turning it into a political football and all of that stuff. But there are people out there, including people that we know, who are stepping up and trying to do their part to help. And those are, frankly, sometimes those are the stories that I wish we'd hear more of.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I think a lot of people are working though to help out.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's lots of heroes out there.
There's been a lot of Twitter rumor mongering that we're going to need, like regular folks like us, are going to need masks before too long, which really weirds me out because we can't even get enough masks for our folks in the hospitals. How in the world are we going to get them to regular people? I know we can rewear them, but
I've seen a few places are using these 3D printers to make masks, which that still seems like a science fiction movie thing that I don't really understand how they work, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, the 3D printer, I don't even understand like what's going on with that. I don't understand how it works. There's people that make houses out of them. Like, how do you?
Yeah, it seems made up to me. Like, I know people say they exist, but I kind of don't really believe it.
It's bizarre. They build a car with the printer.
Yeah, and I know they call that a Yugo. From the chat, Reynolds Wolf, you may know him from the Weather Channel. He is also a native of Jemison, Alabama, and a graduate of Jacksonville State and Mississippi State, I believe. Superstar. He also knows Julie, by the way, Neil.
I know. We could know Julie if you would just get over your fear.
I don't know if fear is right. I just don't really know how that tenor of that conversation would go if I just thought she was hot. That seems like a very temporal reason to get her on the horn, you know?
Well, it seems like we could get past that quickly and get into some weather stuff and talk about how she got into weather and how she became a meteorologist and what she, we probably could talk about some of the crazier storms that she's covered and stuff. We could probably make it interesting once we got past the part where we said, hey, Julie, Jay thinks you're hot. That's what started this. And she would say, well, thank you very much.
I mean, Jay talking to her about how he thought she was hot seems like the more interesting part of that podcast to me, personally.
Yeah, I could see it going one of two ways. And if it goes bad, it's going real bad. You know what I mean? Like, it just tends to go that way with me. Anyway.
Well, I mean, we could get to the point where we said, hey, Julie, in the event that something happens to Courtney and Jay has a list already of women that he might be interested in the event that in that situation you were available, would you want to be put on the list? And we could get rid of it because she would, say yes, no, maybe, and we could move on.
I think we'd probably get a maybe, right? Because she's not going to want to be that person. It's like, absolutely not, you're a turd, Probably.
And maybe would mean no, but it would be
right.
nice.
Kind of like when your parents tell you, we'll see. Yeah. Like no chance, but hey, I just don't want to say it right now.
I've got good news. Reynolds says Julie would be down for whatever. So I feel like we're already looking at maybe already, and it could get better. Anyway, Reynolds wanted to know what Kentucky bourbon is similar to the Cathead variety, and I'm going to have to let that marinate for a minute. I don't know yet. I've only had one sip so far, Reynolds, but I'll tell you what, a little bit later in the show, I'll see if I can come up with something. All right? Word. All right, so this week, probably the big story's been we've all been chilling in the house, right? As long as we've been responsible human beings. Neil, you like this?
Yeah. Do you guys catch yourself when you get out anywhere that, like this morning, we went to Home Depot real quick because we were looking for pine straw, and they're out. I mean, imagine that. When was the last time Home Depot was out of pine straw? For God's sake. But anyway, they were out, and we were walking. I needed to get a new edger. And I saw people, and even getting around people, I told Laura, I feel like my throat's constricting. And then as soon as I got back in the truck and got away from it, I felt better. It's psychological now. And I don't know that that's going to go away, which made me think about something. Even if they play sports this year, will people feel comfortable going?
Yes. Yeah.
100%.
The first day they play sports, most places are going to have bigger crowds than normal.
Oh, you think so? See, I don't.
100%.
Yeah, because people are going to be dying to get out there. Probably not the best choice of words. People are going to be very enthusiastic about getting back out there and seeing stuff because they're going to appreciate it more, right, Gabe?
And I can go out. I can do this 100%. I'm going to see the Rays play or the Gamecocks or whatever. Yeah, absolutely, they're going to be out there.
Are you going to be comfortable sitting in a press box with in an enclosed deal full of people?
I mean,
seriously,
that's a long way away, man. I also feel like I'm the
hold up. In September, let's say it happens. There's not going to be a vaccine yet.
You don't know that.
Well, there's not going to be a vaccine.
President Trump said it was close.
Yeah, there's not going to be a vaccine in September. Are you going to be concerned?
I don't know. I doubt it. To me, if it is deemed safe that they can play games, I'll be fine sitting in the press box. I also think I'm the least worried person of the three of us about this, right?
Well, as of last week, I think we need to revise those numbers. Maybe, I don't know.
All right. Do you have the numbers from last week, Jay?
Thought I wrote them down, but maybe I didn't. I don't know.
Oh, I'm not talking about the least worried about missing football season. I'm talking about the whole virus.
All right, let's do it this way.
I'm less concerned than you guys are.
All right. Jay has the numbers from last week.
The numbers in my hot little hand right here. I gave myself an 85 out of 100, how worried I was. I gave Neil a 58, and I gave Gabriel a 52.
Okay, are we saying how worried we are about getting the virus? Is that where we start there? How worried are you personally about you or someone in your immediate family getting the virus on a scale of 1 to 100, with 1 being I couldn't care less, and 100 being oh my God, I can't rest.
I'm like a 25.
So does that mean you're less worried than you were last week, or
no? Because this is a different question than we asked last week.
That's where Neil tricked us, Gabriel. And you're
no,
right,
I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back to that question in a minute. I'm adding a question if that's okay. I mean, what the hell else are we going to do? It's still March.
I'm fairly concerned. 80-ish for me on that one.
Yeah, I'm in the 70s.
I do not want this virus. I mean, not.
I'm going to say 77. I'm a 77.
Like, I'm not saying I would. By saying 25, I am not saying bring it on.
Like you're looking at doorknobs or something.
I'm just saying I'm a little less like probably concerned that I'm going to get it and it's going to hospitalize me, which means I'm probably fucked. I'm probably get it Thursday.
1 to 100. This was the question we asked last week. How concerned are you, 1 to 100, that this is going to negatively impact the college football season?
And I think what you asked last week was how confident are you we're playing football? Because I said 52 and I was the least confident.
All right, let's go there then. How confident are you on a scale of 1 to 100, with 1 they're not playing and 100, oh, hell yeah, they're playing, that there's going to be a football season?
I said 52 last week. I say 51 this week.
Oh, he's trending down.
Jay, what was Jay last week?
I was 85 last week. I'm probably 80 this week.
So you're 80. You still think it's going to happen?
Yeah, but I'm trending down a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I was 58 last week, and I would say that I am 45 today.
Oh, my goodness. A big drop for Neil.
Neil's taking over the lead as the
Mr. Pessimist.
As the big pessimist.
I keep talking to people around the game, and I don't get anybody who's credible who says, yeah, man, this is going to happen.
But here's the other thing. Like, none of them know one way or the other. Like, and that was the issue with Kirk Herbstreit saying what he said. Like, nobody knows, man. We don't need to pretend we know yet and get people freaking out about this.
I don't know. You know what? I kind of want people to freak out, because maybe if people freak out, they'll do the social distancing thing long enough where we might wipe the thing out. I mean, I've said for a little while, we're going to have to give up our spring to have our fall. We're not going to be able to have a spring and then have fall. And so we got all these people that are like, I want to go back to work Monday. I want to do this. I mean, I have 2 brothers. Both of them travel. One, who travels to Montgomery all the time, has been told no travel for 6 months. Another one who works for a Fortune 100 company has been told at least until the middle of June, no travel. So how much of the rest of our country is willing to say, okay, you know what, we're going to have to lock this thing down until the middle of June? That's a lot of time, man. That's 78 days or so from right now. People willing to do that? Because if they're not, I mean, like, what's going to happen in 2 weeks from today? People are going to cram into churches all over the place to go to Easter services? And so we have another spike, and then the healthcare system gets overridden?
I hope that doesn't happen.
I mean, that's what concerns me is that you see the pictures of the beaches and stuff, and there's still just tons of people. And
is that even true? I think that's outdated footage now, brother.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think it is.
I did see some dude got arrested. I want to say it was in South Carolina, but that might be false. Some dude got arrested for having a party last night. The cops came over, and it was not me. I did not arrest him. The cops came over and told him to break it up, and he wouldn't. He had like 60 people having a bonfire at his house, so they arrested him.
Well, don't be a dummy.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say to you, Gabe, you and your brothers in blue, y'all are heroes.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, I want to ask a different question, though.
I have kept my beat is this household, and I've kept that pretty, like, we have broken no laws. Everything's in order here. So.
Yeah.
I want to ask a different question. Same rules that Neil outlined, 1 to 100. Your concern, since we all 3 have the same basic job professionally, how this is going to impact us, let's say 2 years from now. I mean, once all this plays out, Or are we
Oh,
going to be
shit.
able to get back 2 years from now from where we were 2 weeks ago? Confidence in that, because I am.
Do they play football this year?
Yeah, I mean, you have to build in, you have to bake in your answer to that, I guess. I mean, how concerned are you about
my
this?
answer is exactly the same as it was then for, like, do they play Like, if they play football, it will be all right. If there's no football season, yeah, I'm gonna be looking for alternative revenue streams. I really might go to the police academy if there's no football season.
Well, I mean, realistically, what would we do if there wasn't football? I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know.
That's why I drink at night and take Benadryl 30 minutes before I want to go to sleep. I mean, I don't know what would we do. I mean, this is all I've ever really done. I mean, I've been a writer and a broadcaster, and I've done podcasting now, and I've talked about sports and written about sports, and I could talk and write about other things. But I mean, hell, I'm 50 years old. Who's going to hire me? And I mean, I'd gotten to a place where, and you guys have too. I mean, you've built sites up. I've built the site up and made it mine, and you've made it yours. And you know what I mean? I mean, you have a lot of sweat equity in these things. And I've asked myself a lot of times, what happens if there's no football season? If there's no football season, that means there's no high school football season. What does that do to recruiting? What does recruiting look like if there's no games to scout? At what point are they able to perform where coaches Gus Malzahn and Drinkwitz and Saban and everybody else, where they can go watch these guys? How do they do these evaluations? There's still something to cover. I just don't know how the hell you cover it. Yeah. I mean, I guess we sort of have to quasi figure it out, but I don't know what that market looks like. I mean, it's one of the reasons that, and we've all done this to a degree. I guess we're going to find out how well we did it. We've tried to build community. We tried to build sites that are more than just sports. It's one of the reasons that I've always been very careful, not because I saw a pandemic coming, because holy shit, but I've always been careful to not just be just sports. I mean, Chase has my colleague Chase Parham has a bourbon show that's really good. I have a financial show that we've now done 31 episodes. I can't remember. And it's gotten to where it's pretty good, really getting better all the time. We're doing different things. We do this show that's I mean, it's obviously a very hardcore sports show, but but we've been able to somehow talk about things that aren't sports. But it's still the thing that all of our sites are built on is football. It's built on football. And if you take away the football, even for one season, do people go away forever, or do they go away and then come back, or do they say, hell, it's just $9 a month and this is where my community is and I'm not leaving? I don't know that answer.
I hope I know the answer. I hope it's, hey, I like these guys and I've been around them so long that these are going to be my guys to kind of roll with for the next 12 months.
I mean, the early signs are good. Our podcast numbers, we do a daily podcast. Our numbers are better than they normally are this time of year. But I mean, this is a new thing. And I do think there's a level of fatigue that, Gabe, you talked about it earlier today, is kind of kicking in. I feel it, man. I'm like, God, I mean, people are so dug in on either this is the end of the world or this is a hoax or this is a whatever. And, you can't, people take numbers, and this goes all the way to the White House. People take all these different sets of numbers and they find the set of numbers that backs up their belief, and they ignore everything else.
Well, and in what we do, it's like anything else. It's honestly, it's like if you got a coach that's not winning, eventually everybody gets fatigued except like 8 people.
Yeah.
And they just fight the same fight every single day. And it's just those 8 people fighting the same fight every day. And then the other however many people don't really pay attention to that and go on about their day and talk about everything else that's going on. The only problem is right now, ain't nothing else going on.
Yeah.
So the rest of us are really talking about nothing or talking about games that we already know the result of or whatever, while those 8 people are still fighting about, which side of the aisle the virus started on.
Yeah, I'm getting tired of it too because I'm not political either. I do think the NBA is going to start back up though. Not like tomorrow.
That's what it's going to take. It's going to take one of these leagues. And like, look, I'm not saying one of these leagues to have the balls to do it. That's not my place to I'm not saying that. But I think everybody's waiting for one league to say, we feel safe doing this, whether it's baseball or the NBA or NHL or UFC. It doesn't matter who it is.
It's got to be it's got to be one of the team leagues. It's got to be one of the ones you just mentioned. It's got to be Major League Baseball, NBA, or NHL.
Okay. Well, once one of those sports does it, then everybody will go, yeah, we could play. But like, if the NBA's not playing, Major League Baseball's not playing, which NFL's not starting, which means the SEC's not starting. It's going to take somebody.
I'll throw one other out there. I've heard this mentioned. Some people think the MLS could be the guinea pig.
Interesting.
That this would be an opportunity because, hey, listen, we've been without sports for what now? 2 weeks? If the MLS played, if the Chicago, what are they called? The Fire played the Seattle Sounders on ESPN right now, everybody we're all going to it. It would be their opportunity. Yeah, but you know what I mean? A lot of people.
I know.
Absolutely.
Yes, most people would. Yeah.
A lot of people who would never have even considered watching the New England Revolution against the Orlando, FC Orlando, whatever it's called, would suddenly go, hell yeah, I'll watch it. I'll give it a shot.
And I know you're not saying this, but that can't be why they make the decision.
No, it can't be. But there are some people out there that think, you know what, this would be kind of an opportunity for the MLS to sort of be a little bit of a guinea pig, a little bit of a hero, and obviously people would watch who don't watch before. They'd be able to kind of get out there a little bit. And if they got going for a couple of weeks without a glitch, without a disaster, it might make it'd also be a chance for them
to be a little bit of fucked when one of their players got the virus and somebody died.
Well, and this is the one thing that this is what really haunts me a little bit when I think about it. Let's take Auburn, for example. Say we start sometime in early July, we clear the decks and you say, okay, hey, what's wrong?
Your video
Y'all are looking funny.
Your video kind of
you sound a little weird, but
zipped out. You're back. You're good.
Okay. Let's say Auburn, July the 10th, everybody reports. So we did this the other day. We're talking about 180 to 200 people inside the building, and you test everybody, and everybody's negative. All good. So you start ramping up a little bit of an off season because guys aren't in the kind of shape they would have normally been in a year ago, and you start kind of getting guys ready because it's 100 degrees in Auburn, and you can't just go out and do full scale stuff. And so you have some OTAs, and you have some stuff going on, and things are rolling, and then all of a sudden, a couple of guys get it. Now what?
Now you got a problem.
Now the whole season's done because it's every team they play and every team that team plays. If one player gets it, you're done.
And so that's the part that with me, I keep getting to that place, and I say, so if we're not at a place where the thing is just basically gone, I don't think it's going to happen. And that's the part where the depression kicks in because it goes beyond football. At least at y'all's houses too. Like this was like. My daughter Caroline's going to be a senior in high school. So do the high schools not report? Right. What happens then? What kind of, where does it all go? And that's where the mental part of it. I mean, you hear people now saying after 2 weeks, they're like, man, I'm just exhausted mentally. I'm just shot. And I'm like, God, I get it. I'm not making fun. I will never make fun of someone's mental situation. But if 2 weeks in, you're in trouble, what are 14 weeks in look like?
Yeah. Here, I got this theory about the NBA. Since you don't need as many players to play NBA, I mean, MLB's close-ish, although I think, I don't know how many guys you play in a game, maybe 16.
There's 26 guys on the Major League roster.
How many dudes you actually use, though? I don't know. I mean, obviously you got your 11, maybe 4 or 5 pitchers. On
a given day, 17.
Yeah. So NBA, you can get away with probably, I'm saying they have 13 probably, but they can get away with less than that. Anyway,
get away with 10.
I was thinking that you could do the NBA this way, not this week, not next week, but maybe 6 weeks from now, something like that. You could pick a place where you have a few basketball arenas. I mean, I'm not really thinking like the Staples Center or anywhere like that. It's just got to be a complex. Let's say there's a mythical complex.
Like where they do these AAU events.
Kind of, yeah. Let's say there's a mythical complex in Atlanta, for instance, and you've got big-ass dorm at Georgia State University nearby. and you can put all the players there. Now, I know that's not their lifestyle. They're not living in dorms normally. I get it. But you could put them all in this dorm area or a big living area, and then you play games every night at one of these 3 basketball arenas there in the complex, so you can keep everything kind of in-house, and then you're starting to play again. And you don't have to worry about fans. You keep it very limited as far as just the officials that are cleared and all that kind of stuff, and you do the head checks to make sure nobody's got a fever. You've got a shot, I think, there of keeping the healthy people there and then playing the games. I think you can do it that way if the players are willing to do that. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. I don't know. I think you could do it. I think it would work.
Here's the other thing with the product, the NBA, NHL, MLB. Like right now, you could not do this in New York. You would be pulling away from vital resources for something that's not vital. You can't do it in LA. You can't do it in San Francisco. You probably can't do it in Denver. You certainly can't do it in New Orleans right now today. I don't know about Atlanta, some of those kind of places. It's got the thing has to be sometime in late May, early June. Medical people have got to be saying, hey, it's going to be okay. Yeah, we got to manage this and we got to watch it, but go ahead. And otherwise, I just don't know that anybody's going to do it because of what you just said, Gabe. The liability. If you're Major League Baseball and you say, hey, we're going to do this, and then a team, the San Diego Padres fly into San Francisco for a series, and 5 guys get the virus during their time in San Francisco or something, and then one of them dies.
Bad.
It's bad, and from a liability standpoint, and all these teams have attorneys, and all these leagues have tons of attorneys, and there's going to be some attorney in the room that says you'd be liable.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just don't know. I have, like I said, I have an increased level of doubt this week. Hopefully when we do this again next week, I'll have a different take on it. But right now I just don't, from talking to people, I don't feel particularly good about it. The only thing that people say about it is I've had people say the money in football is going to rule the day. And maybe they're right. I don't know.
Yeah, me neither. I got a lot of questions. And if we don't have football, I don't know what I'm going to do. But we got to figure something out. I know we're in some industrious dudes, so we'll try to figure something out. I also wanted to say before we get off the virus too much here, because I don't want to get too bogged down on it, but one of my lifetime best friends from way back in the day is probable COVID at this point. I mean, he's extremely sick. He's got his brother-in-law, who he hung out with last Sunday, has tested positive for it and is now hospitalized. And so my friend is really nervous right now. He lives out in Colorado. So, we're all going to have stories about this pretty soon about people we know who are positive, people who are struggling with this. And I guess it's just my turn right now. And there's a lot going on. I mean, people are getting sick, and you've also got the whole financial side of it. People getting laid off work, and it's generally uncertain times financially. So, I don't know, man. I'm just really having a lot of feelings of despair. It's been a tough week for me. The person that I am when I get really nervous, which doesn't happen very often when it happens, man, I just start getting really weird, and I can't start projects. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get with Gus, and we're going to talk about something. I'm going to write a story. I get so nervous and anxious about stuff that I can't even get myself started on going something like that. It's almost like I feel in my head, what's the point in even starting this, because we're all in trouble. I mean, I know it's not rational or reasonable, but it's what's been going through my head this week, and it's been rough.
Well, I think we talked last week, mental illness is going to be a real thing the next few months. I mean, everybody's just in their house, and especially if the weather sucks, and it's going to be a real thing. There's no doubt.
There are a couple of positive things here before we get super negative. This is from Mario. Is it Mario Cuomo, the governor of New York?
Yes.
It's not Mario, is it?
No.
Andrew Cuomo?
Andrew Cuomo. Mario Cuomo is, I guess, his dad. I don't know.
All right.
He says if you look early on, the hospitalization rate was doubling every 2 days. Then it doubled every 3 days. Then it doubled every 4 days. Now it's doubling every 6 days. You also see a trend line in people being discharged, and this is a dramatic trend line. And now you're seeing the discharge number trend upward. That's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Well, but more people are going to be discharged because more people are there. Like at first you're talking about it doubles from 5 to 10. Now you're talking about it's doubling from 500 to 1,000. That's a difference, right?
Yeah. I'm not a mathematicien, but I say yeah.
Diagnosed.
but the key thing is, the key thing is what's the death? It's the death rate on it right now is like 1.5% of all cases.
Sure.
Which is really high. We need to get it under 1%. Once it's under 1%, it's not a pandemic anymore. My understanding of the way that they do the science. And,
that'd be good.
I will say this: when it's all over, and I don't know when that is, if it's July, if it's September, if it's November, I think a lot of us are going to appreciate a lot of things. It's just that's the way the world works. You're going to appreciate a lot of things that you took for granted.
Yeah.
I hope so. But then, people just generally go back to their norms before too long. We had a couple questions from the chat coming through. Georgia Rebel wanted to know what Neil is sipping on today. Neil?
It's Dos Equis Lager.
Oh, a little beerage for you, huh?
Yeah, I like beer. I mean, last night I drank a lot of tequila, and
did you really?
Oh yeah, a lot.
That's a bad
idea. It's good though. No, tequila makes me really happy.
Yeah.
Corny, my man Corny, lives in the Nevada desert, said, which of these three guys, meaning the three of us, could shotgun a beer and pick up a chick the fastest? The initial results were me. Georgia Rebel said he thought it would be me. Grind Hard says Gabe probably has the best game out of all of them. Women fall for his demeanor type these days.
What's his demeanor type?
Yeah, I don't know. You're just like the strong
I don't
silent
either.
type?
I don't know if I'm supposed to feel good about that or not.
Well, he thinks that you're going to pick up ladies if you chose to.
I mean,
I'm not saying you would.
But if they fall for it, like, I'm not out here trying to trick anybody. I'm just like, people want to be around me.
So the consensus is I would do the worst?
Yeah, I think that's probably what people are trying to say, yeah.
Yeah. It's probably true.
I don't see you closing.
I mean, I'm happy just not, it's kind of like they say if you're running away from a bear, like, you don't got to be the fastest runner. You just can't be the slowest one. I'd be fine finishing second here.
Okay. It's good. And it's also a skill that I don't think helps any of us at this point in our lives. So.
No, I mean, it's
When's
really.
the last time you shotgunned a beer?
A couple weeks ago. I don't know. It's been a while.
The shotgunning of a beer part.
You do that on your cruises, I'm sure, but.
I could do the shotgunning of a beer pretty easily. The picking up the girl thing would be difficult, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I freely admit, I'm way too ugly to just walk into a bar and pick up girls.
No, it's not about you being ugly at all. I think you're tall and pretty handsome. I think, but you're just weird. Like I think you're so skeptical of people. It's hard for you to ball up.
Yeah, maybe so.
Maybe so. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's definitely the case. Because me and Gabe would definitely do a lot more damage than you and anybody else. Promise you that.
I mean,
that's why Julie Martin keeps showing up on the podcast.
Dude, come on! I haven't even asked her.
I know.
If you never ask, you can never get told.
I feel like I'd be cheating on Christina Abernathy or Janetta, Janetta Jones, who was my all-time favorite back in the day.
Who are these people?
Those are the like Hall of Fame meteorologists from the early days of the Weather Channel. Christina Abernathy is to this day the hottest girl.
I'm going to look up the Meteorological Hall of Fame and
look
see if
up Christina Abernathy with a K, and I'm telling you, she's the hottest weather girl that's ever walked. Like, I'm serious. I don't expect Reynolds to jump in on this because Reynolds probably knows these people and works with them, but I'm telling you.
There is a Weather Hall of Fame, if you were curious. See who the inductees are.
Where is that? Is it in Oklahoma somewhere?
I don't know. I'm in my early stages of research here. The class of 2019 includes Ginger Z.
Oh yeah. Good morning, America.
Okay. Dusan Zernick, Z-R-N-I-C. He appears to be, 75-ish.
Big time.
Okay. Yeah.
And Tim Marshall. I don't know. Jim Cantori was in the class of 2018, though.
He's a star.
Okay. The Weather Hall of Fame is, let's see if it says where it's located.
It's got to be in like middle of nowhere, Oklahoma.
It doesn't. Oh my God! It is right outside Norman, Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's where I figured it would be.
Like, did you know that?
But they have more tornadoes than anybody in the world.
That's where the weather's going down. Reynolds did chime in and said no comment, so he may have some opinions. I mean, he works with Kelly Cass, who's also a very pretty girl, so he's got to be careful, I guess. That's cool. Let's see what else we want to talk about. And obviously, we decided that I was the guy that was going to probably pick up chicks the best. I'm just saying. I mean,
yeah, of course.
So my mom is 77, I think, And she's very concerned about getting the virus. She doesn't have any underlying health problems, but she's just 77 and she's trying to avoid it, which is smart. And so she loves hanging out with us. We live about 2 miles away from her, but she can't decide if she wants to let us in her house or not. And so
by us, I thought you meant us, like she liked watching the podcast.
Well, she
no,
likes
you're
you,
a
Gabe.
cop. She hates cops.
Okay.
I think she'd be okay with you, Gabe. Neil, she'd be real skeptical of. But she likes her men kind of her suit. I'm not. It's not her. It's not me. It's her. Okay, you can take it up with her if you want to. So she wants to have these conversations with me where, like, I'm in the garage and she's got the door cracked and she's talking to me through the door. I don't really understand what we're accomplishing with that. And last night I basically insisted that we have dinner on her back porch and we would bring her food and stuff. And she was really nervous the whole time, just like, okay, are you guys finished yet? She's like trying to run me out, and I don't know what to do.
I gotta respect her wishes. She's 77 years old.
I know, but
if she gets it, it's not good.
But she's having zero social interaction if we don't go over there. She's not interacting with anybody, and I feel like it's bad for her.
Hardly anybody is.
Well,
I saw a story about one guy who was born during the Spanish flu epidemic of 1918.
Yeah.
Who got coronavirus and beat it, left the hospital.
Oh, that was the 101-year-old dude.
Yeah, that dude's badass. That dude.
Yeah, I mean, he
sounds like a beast.
He's a boss.
Yeah, he's
not scared of anything.
Yeah.
He gets up in the day and just goes, bring it.
Yeah, he's had cancer like 7 times.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
Cancer's scared of him. We've all been watching, all three of us, to different degrees. Tiger King from Netflix. I believe it's on Netflix. It's one of the streaming devices.
It's on Netflix.
And I finished it in one sitting. My wife and I did. Gabriel, I think it took 2, but you were pretty much all in, right?
Yeah, it took. We watched 2 episodes the first night, and then we watched the next 5.
And McCready, I think he and the lovely Laura, I think, are 2 episodes in. So we don't want to give away any spoilers.
Yeah, we're 2 episodes in. We're going to watch episode 3 tonight. At least that's the plan. We've started 3 new shows all at once, and so we're kind of rotating.
You also watch Schitt's Creek, and what's the other one?
1,000. What's it?
Little Fires Everywhere.
Little Fires Everywhere. Yeah.
That has Reese Witherspoon, who may or may not be hot, right?
Yeah. No, she may be.
No, she's hot.
Yeah, there's not a may not be.
Neil was like, fine. I don't know, maybe. Yeah.
She's fine.
She's fine. You mean like
that's why Neil finished last in that poll, because every woman's like, so do you think I'm attractive? He's like, you're okay.
You're fine. You're fine. I don't know. It's ones and zeros for me. It's a splash.
I don't really think in terms of hot. You're fine.
You're fine.
Yeah.
Laura says,
whatever.
Laura says, Neil, what's the best thing about me? And he goes, I don't know. You're pretty much fine at everything.
I don't hate you. You're
not the worst at all. Tiger King, if you haven't seen it, I strongly recommend it.
It's
amazing.
Awesome.
Like, we won't give anything away, but seriously, Jay, didn't you just sit there going, like, every scene you go, well, this can't get any more messed up. And then like 10 minutes later, you're like, oh, well, it just got more messed up.
For those who haven't seen it, it's a show about various people in the United States who are into breeding or showing or making money off of cats, like tigers.
Exotic animals.
Exotic animals, yes. And
that's by far the least interesting part of the whole thing.
Right. It kind of starts there, and then they kind of get angry with each other, and they're all interesting folks. And, yeah, it's amazing how deep the whole thing goes. But I think it's a statement on society as a whole where it's just the different kinds of people out there, you know?
Like, we can agree that the best part of that whole thing clearly is Joe Exotic's musical career.
Oh, incredible. Correct? Absolutely incredible.
Like, I would, if he were to do concerts, I think I would go.
Those videos were incredible. Where he was like dancing on top of his truck with a tornado in the background. Like, that was unbelievable.
I don't know if you guys.
The Missouri football.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Video put to the music is incredible.
It's the best thing. If Missouri does not make sure to get copyright rights to that and play that at football games if they have them this fall, then everyone in the marketing department should be fired. They should play that at the game.
Yes, absolutely. At the end of this whole thing, if Missouri plays football this season and their very first hype video is not to that, everyone should be fired, from the chancellor all the way down to the
and I mean, just Eli Drinkwitz's first press conference has to be like, he has to have a Joe Exotic mullet. He is the Tiger King, right?
Well,
somebody has to
even if he doesn't have the mullet, he's got to put on one of the shirts or something. He's got to wear the hat. He does. He absolutely, and frankly, Gus Malzahn does too, because they're the Tigers.
No doubt.
Any school that is the Tigers has to do this.
Hey,
I agree.
Some news coming through. Apparently, President Trump is doing a press conference right now. I'm not aware of that. I don't have a TV in my office.
Well, the ratings are incredible. I don't know if you.
But apparently he said we're going to be continuing to social distance until, man, Neil's taking over our whole screen there. We're going to continue social distancing until April 30. And it sounds like the peak may be a little bit further away than we had hoped. So, yeah, those are things to keep an eye on for sure.
Don't worry, though. He's popular. People still watch it.
I watch every one of them.
I'm going to give him.
I haven't watched one. It has nothing to do with what I think about him, but I'll find out.
I'll give him some props here. I've been critical of him a little bit. The whole Easter thing was not a good idea when he did it. And to come off of that and push it back another 2.5, 3 weeks. When every science person, and there literally is no one that's arguing this, when every science person says the social distancing thing is the only thing that works, you got to do it.
Got to do it.
I mean, and I've said this, and some people push back on me, and I get it. I've said, if we have to give up our spring to have our fall, is that a trade we're willing to make? It is. It is to me, because the alternative is losing life. And I mean, like people can say, generic old people. It's not generic old people when it's your mom, right, Jay? When it's my parents.
Right.
When it's someone that matters to you. And then there's no bigger myth than that this only kills old people. It's killing people in their 30s and 40s. And I mean, I don't know. That's the part to me that, where I have a hard time with the people that are like, let's get back to work Monday. I understand that. I'm losing money on this. There's no question about it. I'm losing real money on this, but that I can recoup the money somewhere down the road. If I lose someone that's close to me, I can't bring them back. So I don't know how else to talk about it other than that. So I'll give the president, I've been critical of him. I'll give him props based on what you said for listening to some of the people around him who were saying, hey, keep this going for another month. As shitty as it is and as boring as it is and as depressing as it is, like in Alabama, they shut public schools down for the rest of the year. Just say it and get it out there and let's move forward.
I'm really bummed about that. It's my daughter's senior year, man, and she's not.
I know.
Yeah, that sucks.
I know, it's horrible.
Senior night and no honors day, and maybe not even a graduation. So I don't know what to think.
Yeah, my son's college graduation is now an online event.
Yeah,
I don't really know what that means, but
it's depressing. Yeah. It is. It's. But what you hope is that in August, Maddie can go to her school of choice and start her college career. And you hope that next year's senior class can have a senior year. And at some point, at some point you have to look to the next thing and say, okay, well, I can't have this, so let's have this.
Changing directions a little bit, I decided to get into something new during this past week where there wasn't a lot to do work-wise. And my wife runs a child care center. They have shut down child care centers here in the state of Alabama, so she is currently out of work, and all of her teachers are as well. So they decided they were going to start doing videos for the kids at the school. And so it started off with a couple teachers reading books, which we would then turn into a video and then put on YouTube. And then it turned into a teacher today. We just debuted a video of a teacher kind of walking around her farm and going through all the animals that she feeds on a daily basis. And it's just nice, wholesome programming for the kids from kinder care who are not able to go to school now because it's closed, and they miss their teachers and they miss seeing Miss Courtney and stuff. And I don't know, it's been pretty cool, man. Courtney's gotten some feedback from some parents that say that their kids just love sitting down and going through the videos and seeing the teachers read and do crafts and stuff, and just brings a little bit of happiness, man. I don't know. It's pretty cool because YouTube's usually high pressure for me. I'm trying to get these videos out. I want to get views up. And then on the stuff for the kids, it's just all good. I don't know. It's been fun to do that. A little change of pace. I'd like to get Neil on the show.
I think you should do a preschool YouTube show one time. I would watch.
I could probably do it, man. I think I have the maturity level to work great with those kids.
I volunteer.
I'm not sure
the content
matter would be a good thing.
Hey, someone's in your background. What's up, Gabe's person?
Oh,
Word.
my cat needed to come in.
Wanted to come in and fold some laundry with you there in the laundry room.
He's coming.
Hey, when I worked at a summer camp back in the day, dude, they always put me with the youngest kids. I always worked with 8-year-olds at residential summer camp in Tulsa, Oklahoma, or outside of Tulsa. I was perfect, man. I was great with those kids. I could totally assimilate to a very young person because I have no brain. Yeah. So, yeah, you guys would have really liked hanging out. We lost you.
Hey, I tried to show you the cat.
There goes your pussy cat, Gabe. Bye, pussy.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, you let the pussy get away. Typical.
Yeah, I was afraid you were going there. This podcast is also brought to you by Pinnacle Trust. Pinnacle Trust, based in Madison, Mississippi. They've got clients in more than 20 states, advisors in multiple states as well. They provide detailed, specialized investment management, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and much more. At Pinnacle Trust, investing is treated like a commodity. Decisions are made using objective information and research, not emotions. So regardless of your level of wealth, Pinnacle Trust will sit down with you, listen to your goals, study your expenses, and put forth a comprehensive, detailed financial and retirement plan built just for you. It's pintrust.com, PINNtrust.com. Mention you heard about Pinnacle Trust on the podcast. You get 10% off your first year's fee. We're also brought to you by John Edwards of Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. When this thing is over, and it will one day be over, we will all want to go on a vacation. We will want to get away. We will want to get out of our homes. I would suggest that you get in touch with John. He's part of Virtuoso. It's a worldwide network of travel partners that allows him to supply his clients with added values and unique benefits simply not available to other travelers. All you do is you give him some parameters, you give him a budget, let him give you some options, and know this, you don't have to live anywhere near Memphis to take advantage of his services. 901-494-3387 or send him an email, jedwards@regencytravel.net. First-time clients can save $50 off their first booked trip just by telling John you heard about Regency Travel on the podcast.
On the podcast. Hey, Gabriel, did you have a chance to look up Christina Abernathy?
No, I got sidetracked by the Weather Hall of Fame. Hang on.
Oh, I know, big deal. I mean, it's a hot girl, and you're going to say, yeah, she's hot. This is GPITS episode number 92. As you guys know, we go along.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say that. Sorry.
Oh, you don't? Oh, you don't? Really, you don't?
Sorry. She's fine.
She's fine or she's fine? She's like Neil fine or she's fine?
No, more like, yeah, she okay, fine. Not like fine. Wow, fine. She's just okay. Sorry, Jay.
Yeah, this one hits me pretty deep, man.
I can tell.
I don't care what Neil has to say about it, but you, Gabe, I didn't think you would turn your back on me like this.
Neil, you agree with me though, right?
What's her name? I'll look her up right here in
Neil
real
thinks,
time.
Gabe.
Christina Abernathy with a K. She's a meteorologist.
Former meteorologist.
Age 49.
Christina Abernathy.
This is scintillating.
Images, because it's all about what you look like. Yeah, she's all right.
Right. Yeah, she's fine, right?
Yeah, she's less fine than Reese Witherspoon.
Oh, 100%.
Anyway, so this is GPITS 92. So we'll review the year 1992 in terms of music. Not a great year in music. Unfortunately, for those of us who liked pop music at the time, John Cicada, of all people, was taking over the airways with his crap.
Oh, God.
Just Another Day. You've also got some, let's see, Eric Clapton's Tears in Heaven, which I was...
Oh, that was a good song.
Yeah, it's okay.
Was that because the son that died?
That was the one, his son, who fell out the hotel window.
Yeah.
You've also got Achy-Breaky Heart by the legendary Billy Ray Cyrus.
No.
That was
not quite as good.
That was fun. Baby Got Back is an all-time great. That came out in 92.
Yes. Yeah. I'm a fan.
I mean, everybody likes big butts, right?
Cannot lie.
I mean, I don't know if Neil does, but I feel like most of us do.
No comment.
Creep by TLC. TLC was just kind of coming into their own. Still a few years away from Waterfalls, but pretty good.
Okay.
Mariah Carey, I'll Be There, kind of getting started. Rump Shaker, Rex in Effect.
Which was a big year for. It was a big year for butts.
It was a big year for butts. You're absolutely right.
It was.
I went to a party at Western Kentucky University. They were playing Rump Shaker, and there was no bass. I called it the House of Treble, and it really ruined the song for me. Like every time I hear it now, all I hear is all that treble. Also, Criss Cross we found out before the show that Neil was a big fan of Criss Cross and liked the
Oh,
song
yeah.
Warm It Up, Chris.
Love him.
Although Gabriel's favorite song was, what is it? I Missed the Bus?
I missed the bus.
Word, I don't know that song until you said it.
Something that I will never, ever, ever do again.
Daddy Mac will make you jump, jump. Mac, Daddy will make you
Jump,
jump. Criss Cross will make you jump, jump.
That's it, man.
Were they the ones that wore their pants backwards?
Hell yeah, they did.
Was that then? That's what
Yeah,
I thought.
because they were crisscross.
Yeah, see
Okay.
what I mean? Crisscross applesauce, big boy. Not a great year for movies. Aladdin led the way, which was solid. Certainly made
good.
a $500 million that year, which is, I think, a lot. That's like
He's
$50
hot.
billion current day.
Aladdin.
The Bodyguard was the number 2 film, which Gabe does not like. I know Gabe hates
Awful.
it.
Trash.
Awful movie.
Yeah, but Whitney Houston's hot, right?
Yeah,
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
but like, there's a lot of hot people in movies. You can't just have a good movie by saying, "Well, here's a hot person."
Right.
Be on the
that's
screen.
true.
That doesn't work.
Well, she's
Man,
also
she
can sing.
she was so talented. What a loss.
Yeah, what a loss, man. It's tough.
Seriously, she was immensely talented. She
She was a singer and she was a dancer.
The Bodyguard, probably not the best example of that, but yes.
no, but her vocals to this day, like you hear her vocals from when she was in her prime, you're like, whoa.
It's pretty good. Also, Basic Instinct featuring Sharon Stone.
that
Yeah.
was
That was
That was
something else,
solid.
huh? When she had the little police interrogation.
yeah.
And
That's what led me to want to be a cop.
and here you are today, years later.
You wanted to interrogate people that looked
Right.
like
Yeah.
Sharon Stone without underwear. Yeah, of course.
Also, Wayne's World came out that year, which apparently Neil didn't like very much. I thought it was a terrific
It's
film.
fine. It's fine.
It's fine. All
I
I hear is
liked it.
fine.
Party on, Garth.
Party on, Neil. And A Few Good Men, which is a film that guys our age and people our age in general just
Excellent.
like it. Yeah.
Excellent.
It's a
Big
good
time.
Excellent.
You can't handle the truth.
That is the truth.
Talk about
I
Code
like,
Red and whatnot.
My favorite scene was when Demi Moore wanted to strenuously object, and Tom Cruise was very unhappy. That was the night before the trial. Excellent scene.
Did she take her top off?
No, sorry.
That was G.I. Jane.
Not-
My bad.
No, it's fine.
There was some other stuff that came out though in '92. Reservoir Dogs, Unforgiven, which is a really good one.
Reservoir Dogs is excellent movie. That's my favorite Tarantino movie.
Yeah, that was an early one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, not the greatest year. I think League of Their Own came out in '92 as well. Not the greatest year for film, but it is what it is.
I like that movie. It was a good movie.
Yeah. You guys were like, I don't know, you were what, late 20s in 1992, something like that.
It was 22.
Late
Yeah.
20s.
So late
Jay-
20.
Jay was 20.
Yeah. Come on, Gabriel.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Why don't you shut up, man?
Oh,
Don't you have
one of my
don't
first.
you have some arrest to make or something?
Yeah, exactly. Just gonna do some
Yeah.
paperwork, bro. I went on my first date with my wife in '92. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's fine.
It worked out for you.
Yeah,
It was good.
Yeah, it's been. Yeah, Neil said it's good. It's fine. It's good.
How was that date? It's okay.
Well, our first date was a little drunk, but we had some subsequent dates that were a little more sober. Administrative assistant, do you have an opinion on this? She has no opinion on this. All right.
She said it was fine.
Yeah, you guys are doing a hell of a job, though. What else we got?
I think that's got it covered.
I got
All right.
nothing.
Well, then you guys have done a hell of a job. I also want to give a shout out to SSim008 who slid in a super chat earlier. I did not call it out at the time because I think Neil was on a rant about something that I thought was really interesting. But anyway, SSim008, thank you very much. He says, "Get it, Bubbas. I feel your stress. It will settle." So some good folks out there. Also, Webb had one earlier in the
Absolutely.
show. Thank you very much for your support.
Absolutely. Appreciate everybody. Thanks to Gabe DeArmond. Thank you, J.G. Tate. Thanks to everyone for listening. We'll be back next week with another edition of Greatest Pod in the South, brought to you by Automation and Control Systems, LLC. Until then, stay safe and take care. Hope to talk to you soon.
When you say I hope to talk to you soon, does that mean you think people might be dead next time? Or what?
Well, I mean, shit. I was just looking at this picture of body bags laid up in a hall. God almighty.
I heard about that. Yeah.
God almighty.
Thanks, Mr. Positivity. That's great.
Yeah. On that note, We'll
All right,
talk
guys.
to you guys another day, huh?
Talk to y'all soon.
You guys be real. See ya. All right, I still have to shut this video stream down. I think my guys are gone. I'm sorry about that. I lost Neil. He told me before the show that his daughter was doing something that he thought was going to be bandwidth intensive, and it didn't really affect things until about the 25-minute mark. But once he got going, it got kind of jittery and stuff, and the feed was all over the place. But I mean, I don't know. It happens. You know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Hold on, administrative assistant. Did you need me to answer this question right now? Taco Mama. Hell yeah, I do. Of course I do. I like corn. Hold on, my administrative assistant's picking up this order. This is scintillating radio, I know. I know corn for sure. Huh? Onions are good. Maybe some hot sauce? Some salsa? Nah, hell no, on the side. That sounds good right there, corn and onions. Thank you. You're the best. No, I was just going to shut the stream down, but I hate doing it so abruptly because, like, when Neil finishes the show, he just wants to, like, turn off and be, yeah. Let's see. What to wrap it up? Is she a cam girl? Administrative assistant didn't like getting on the cam. I'm not sure why. I was hoping we'd give her tips since she's out of work now. Yeah. My wife's going to be out of work starting tomorrow officially because, like I said, the child care center's shut down. I mean, it's just part of it. We're all going through it, or most of us are. But anyway, guys, thanks for jumping on the show. We love doing these online. It was kind of an idea that Neil and I had to start doing these live instead of just doing the podcast. So appreciate you guys watching, all you guys. The Ole Miss folks, the Rebel Groves, I should say, the AuburnSports.com folks, and the Power Mizzou folks. Yeah. So you guys behave yourselves out there and be good. I mean, I know I'm not I'm not the best to sit there and say, hey, man, keep your chin up, because honestly, I do get fairly down, probably. I don't feel like I need, like, therapy, but I do get really down about stuff, and it just makes me kind of inert. It makes me not want to do anything. Like, I just kind of play FIFA and just try to get my mind off of it. But I don't know. I got to dig deeper. Try to find another gear or something. I don't know. But anyway, you guys are doing a hell of a job. We're going to get through this. We're going to have to social distance a little bit longer, but I think we're going to get into the rhythm of it. It's going to suck really bad for like another week, I think, as we're just kind of acclimating to this, but it'll get a little bit better. And then eventually we'll get to a point where the virus is not really a big story anymore. I mean, not a day-to-day threat, maybe. And, yeah, we'll just kind of move on from there. So let's just find ways to have fun and keep our minds entertained. It's the best thing I can offer. And drink. Of course, that's what I've been doing. I've been drinking this Old Soul today. I like it. It's good. It's not a particularly compared to the stuff that I usually drink on the show, it doesn't have a lot of age on it. I wonder if there is an age statement on this bad boy. I doubt there is. This is from batch number 1. Major, who's our friend over there at Cathead, sent this to me. So let's see, 55% bourbon aged for 4 years, 8 months, 35% aged 4 years, 3 months, and 10% aged 2 years and 1 month. So it's a pretty young bourbon, and that's why that name is so clever to me. Old Soul is a great name for a young bourbon that's aspiring to taste a little bit more full. And this definitely has a hit on it. I mean, it has a taste, which you would be surprised. Normally like a 3-year you wouldn't think would have a lot of taste, but it does. I think it's kind of nutty, kind of like a Jim Beam. It has that kind of almost like peanut taste, but I like it. I'm gonna continue drinking that. I'll keep this up here on the table with the various things that I've been drinking. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna bounce now. Appreciate you guys so much for watching the show, and if you guys are at Rebel Groves, talking to Neil and Chance, or with Gabriel and Mitchell over at Power Mizzou, or I think Pete does a thing once a week too. And then here at AuburnSports.com, obviously me and Brian Matthews and Jeffrey M.F. Lee and Young Nate. Appreciate that. Appreciate all you guys sticking with us here at Rivals. Yeah, I mean, if you can, stick with us. It's a fun community, and I don't know. It's good to kind of fraternize, I think. And the girls, girls can fraternize too. Just to kind of keep up with people. I know sometimes it gets a little tedious. I know on our site we're just getting a lot of the, you got the DM8 people who are like, this is going to kill a bunch of people and you guys aren't taking it seriously enough. And then we've got the people that are like, it's a hoax and it's all overrated. And they're always just sniping. And I'm really done with it. I think most people are done with it. I'm just hoping it kind of smothers itself out, that we just kind of, guys, you're not changing anybody's mind about this. So let's just let it ride, hoping that's what we get. All right, guys. So be good out there. Try to keep, a sunny disposition. We got better things coming. And when we get through this thing together, we're going to appreciate things more, I think. Appreciate sports more, that's for sure. And I don't know. Let's just try to parlay this as a positive if we can. If we can. All right. You guys be good. Till I see you guys again. We'll be doing this show again next Sunday. We'll be doing a Auburn Sports brain drain certainly before then. So until then, keep your feet on the ground. Keep reaching for the stars. See you guys.